You are standing in your backyard on a Tuesday morning in late August. A yellowjacket nest entrance sits 3 feet from where your daughter plays. One nest, 4,000 wasps underground. One queen laying eggs constantly. Last week, one of them stung your son on the neck. This is not a problem you can ignore or wait out. Now, I want you to sit with this for one moment. You do not need poison. You do not need a contractor. You do not need to dig or fumigate or call anyone. I have spent 20 years killing these colonies with nothing but water. My grandfather taught me to read a nest the way others read maps. I learned that boiling water kills a subterranean yellowjacket colony in 90 seconds. By the end of this chapter, you will know exactly how to do it. You will know the one time of day that makes you nearly untouchable. And stay with me, because there is a second method waiting for you. It works when the first one cannot. You will need it. Here is what almost nobody tells you about these nests. A subterranean yellowjacket is not a bee. It is a wasp. Honeybees are foraging 3 miles away right now. This method does not touch them. The nest entrance is usually one hole, roughly the width of your thumb. Below that hole sits a chamber, 6 to 18 inches down in the soil. That chamber holds the queen, 3,000 to 4,000 workers, and brood. Cold-blooded insects. Their bodies slow down as temperature drops. At dawn, the ground is cool. The air is cool. The wasps are torpid. Torpid means sluggish, confused, barely awake. This is your window. A standard kettle holds 1.5 liters of boiling water. Boiling water is 212 degrees Fahrenheit. Yellowjacket protein denatures at roughly 105 degrees. The math is not even close. They die on contact. You pour once, you walk away immediately. That is the entire method. One decisive strike. No second application. No hesitation. The soil funnel channels the water down to the chamber instead of spreading it. Within 90 seconds, the heat reaches the queen and every worker inside. By dawn the next morning, you observe the entrance. No hovering wasps. No buzzing from below. No activity at all. Safe for your kids playing 3 feet away. Safe for pets. Safe for the honeybees in the neighbor's hive half a mile out. Now, the next chapter shows you what to do if that entrance is elevated. If the nest is nested under wood, or behind a wall, or under a shed. A spray bottle and dish soap wait for that exact scenario. That is where many people stumble. That is where we go next. With the boiling water method locked in, here is where an elevated nest changes everything. If the entrance is tucked under an eave or hanging from a branch, pouring from above, we'll miss. This is where I reach for the spray bottle and the method that taught me how yellowjackets actually breathe. You are standing 3 feet from the nest, bottle in hand, water and dish soap already mixed. The soap is the key. I use about 2 tablespoons of blue dish soap per quart of water. That ratio matters because soap does one thing that plain water cannot. It breaks the surface tension. A yellowjacket does not breathe through a mouth like you do. It breathes through tiny pores called spiracles. Spiracles run along the sides of its body, connected to tubes inside called tracheae that feed oxygen to every cell. When soapy water coats those spiracles, it clogs them. The insect suffocates in seconds to minutes. Now, the part most people miss. The soap also weighs down the wings and legs, killing flight instantly. You are not poisoning the nervous system. You are blocking oxygen mechanically, leaving zero chemical residue behind. From 3 feet away, I saturate the entrance completely. Keep the spray steady for about 10 to 15 seconds. The nest envelope is papery, made of chewed wood fiber, and it does not repel water. The soapy water soaks through the outer shell and into the interior where the queen and brood live. Within minutes, the colony goes quiet. You will see dead wasps piling at the entrance. And here is my honesty beat. If you spray during the day, you risk triggering alarm pheromones. Disturbed workers will come out aggressive, and they can sting multiple times, unlike honeybees. That is why timing matters so much. But that is a whole chapter of its own. What I will tell you now, the soapy method leaves nothing toxic in the soil. No synthetic residue. No risk to pets or kids playing in that yard tomorrow. Honeybees foraging nearby will not touch a dried-out nest entrance. The risk is nearly gone. But before you reach for that bottle, you need to know when to spray it. And that window, the one that cuts your sting risk by 80%, that is where the real mastery lives. So you have marked the nest entrance in daylight, noted where it sits on your property. Now comes the part that separates a clean kill from a dangerous scramble. Timing is not a suggestion. Timing is the whole game. Here is what I know from 20 years of working these nests. A yellowjacket's body temperature drops as the sun sets and the air cools. Below 50 degrees Fahrenheit, their flight muscles barely respond. They become sluggish. Their reflexes slow. Not frozen, but dampened. At the same time, 95% of the colony, thousands of workers, clusters underground. They have all returned from foraging. They are packed deep in the nest. The entry hole sits nearly empty. This is your window. 2 hours before sunset, or any time before 6 in the morning. In that window, sting risk drops by 80%. I have watched this number hold. The reason is simple. Most of the colony is not there to defend anything yet. Now, here is where most people fail, and I see it every season. They decide at dawn to treat the nest they spotted yesterday. They have not checked the weather. They have not laid out their gear. They have not marked the exit path. So, they rush. Rushing pushes you past the safe window. Rushing means foragers are active. I plan every nest treatment the night before. Every single one. Grab a pen and mark the entry hole in late afternoon while it is light. Watch it for 5 minutes from 10 feet away. Count the traffic in and out. If you see steady activity, the colony is healthy. Proceed with confidence. Lay your kettle on the stove. Mix your soap spray in its bottle. Put on the clothes you will wear. Long sleeves, gloves, eye protection. Identify the clearest path away from the nest. Walk it once. Mark it mentally. Check the weather for the morning. You need calm, no rain. Get a red light flashlight. Yellowjackets cannot see red. White light draws them toward you. Sleep. Wake 1 hour before dawn or 2 hours before sunset. Dress. Grab your tool. Walk to the hole in darkness, moving slow, deliberate. No vibration. No stomping. The guards at the tunnel mouth are still there, always. You are now ready to strike. But there is one rule about that strike itself. One rule that changes everything about whether you live to treat another nest. And that rule is exactly what comes next. Now you are standing at the nest entrance with your kettle or spray bottle, timer set, the safe window open. And here is where everything you planned folds into one moment. The single rule that seals success is also the hardest one to follow. Apply your method once, then walk away. Do not retreat. Do not poke the hole. Do not return in an hour to check. I have spent 20 years watching people succeed and fail right here. The ones who fail almost never use the wrong method. They use the right method twice. When you pour boiling water or spray soap into that entrance, you release alarm pheromones, invisible chemical screams that recruit every defender in the nest. The first disturbance wakes them. The second one armies them. Within seconds of a second pour, the colony pivots from dormant to swarming. A single decisive strike kills the worker population and collapses the colony. A second strike sends 500 stinging wasps through that tunnel mouth. I have to be honest with you here. I learned this by getting stung badly in 2007. I thought one pour was not enough, so I poured again 40 seconds later. I was wrong. The fever lasted 4 days. Now here is the mechanism that saves you from my mistake. The boiling water does not kill the queen instantly. She is buried deep, 12 to 24 inches down. But it destroys the tunnel structure and scalds every worker in the upper chambers. The workers die over the next 18 to 30 hours as residue works. By tomorrow morning, that colony is functionally extinct. You do not need to see it happen. One application, one walk away, 24 hours of faith. Look back at what we have walked through. The dawn window when 95% sleep underground. The marked hole from the night before. The kettle filled to 3 gallons. The soapy spray standing ready for elevated nests. The red light flashlight. The straight line exit route. Every single piece folds into this moment. Every piece exists so you can pour or spray once and leave. When you walk away without a second thought, you have already won. This is the thing that separates the people who get stung from the people who do not. Now I want to hear from you. Have you found a nest on your property? And if so, what stopped you from calling an exterminator? I read every comment. Tell me what you saw.